TwinSportsTV.
Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. It's Twin Talk. Y'all know what time it is. It's how we get down. We're ready to talk to you guys.
We are. We got a great topic for today.
Yeah, what's the topic? Let's go. Let's dive in.
That's the topic.
It's signs of a good youth sports coach.
Yes.
And this is a great one.
It is.
So everybody listen up.
Yeah.
Make sure you stay tuned.
Into the room with us. Come on into the room and get
in on this conversation. This Twin Talking is going down.
Woo! Hey, what's going on? Twin Talk.
We back. We live. We in the building.
Yep.
We getting ourselves together.
We are.
Hope y'all can't see our desk here because it's a little messy.
A little messy, but we organized it a little messy, but
well, we gonna get it in.
It's okay. We know what we doing.
Trying to get us for a DYJ.
Hey, hit us up. We love those jackets. Them yellow jackets.
Let us know what game, what city, what state y'all represent if you don't play a sport. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If you want to just say hey to the Twins, holla, throw those hearts up.
Exactly. If you got a question.
Yep.
You want to get it in. Y'all know what's up. This is how we do.
Questions, comments, concerns, put them down there. We'll bring you on the screen and we'll get it in with you.
We definitely gonna get it in.
Yep.
Well, what's the topic of the day?
Yeah, we always come with our own topic.
Yeah, signs of a good youth sports coach. Yep. And this is big, especially here. We down in the ATL in Georgia.
Yep.
Youth sports is just big.
It is.
So coaches across the board, they're highly influential on our kids.
Yep.
On society and people in general.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because y'all shaping the minds of these young cats. So
right.
We want to go through that and make sure we got some good coaches out there, some stuff you parents can check out, look out for, whether they're good, bad, or the coach just might not even be good or bad, or might not just be the fit for your child.
Right.
Stay tuned.
So what we're going to do is have a scenario. I'm going to read a scenario of something that happened to someone else, and then we're going to kind of talk about it, dialogue about it.
All right, hold on. Shout out to Tucker Lions. They checking in.
We love those Lions.
What's going on?
Yeah, they had a big homecoming last weekend.
Yeah, TwinSportsTV. We were there.
Yeah.
Showing them Lions some love.
Right. We love it. Thank y'all for checking in. Come on into the room with
Let us know what sport you play. If you play a sport, if you're an athlete, what position, what team. If you don't, you just checking in. Let us know what city and state you checking in from. Because TwinSportsTV, we want to shout you out. We want to make sure we check in with all of you guys all across the country.
Right.
All across the world if you're checking in with us.
Yep.
Hey.
But on Twin Talk today, we're talking about the signs of a good youth sports coach.
Coop. Hey, them Brookwood's in the building. Those
Broncos.
What's up,
we
Coach
love it.
Cooper, we see you.
We love it. Thank y'all for tuning in with us. We're going to talk about the good, positive coaches.
Exactly.
Right.
We love those.
So we got a little scenario. I'm going to go ahead and read it. Are we ready to read it?
Let's go.
Okay. Let's see. Let's get it in. All right. Now, the junior varsity tennis coach. So we're not talking about football. We're talking about tennis. But it kind of applies against all sports or whatever.
Exactly.
So the junior varsity tennis coach of the Tigers, Coach Critic, fitting name, right, is determined to win. This is her first season as a coach. She believes the best way to do that is to only give her players positive feedback if they win their match, and thinks that she is helping her players by constantly calling attention to their flaws and weaknesses. Yep. The atmosphere at her practices is serious, intense, and full of pessimism. It's the day before the Tiger meets their arch rivals, the Huskies. Coach Critic screams to one of her players, Adrienne, and she says, "Why are you moving your feet? Why aren't you moving your feet? Let's see some hustle. Stop standing flat-footed." She's just like yelling. When you are at the net, What she doesn't know is that Adriana, her number 3 single player, isn't moving as quickly as usual because she was up late at night before studying for an AP chemistry exam, and she's tired. At 16 years old, Adriana has been playing tennis for more than 10 years. How many times are you going to double fault? If you plan on double faulting during your match tomorrow, let me know now, and you can sit the bench.
Yeah.
Is what the coach said. She threatened. Let her know now about tomorrow whether she's going to double fault so she can go ahead on and bench her tail. That's what she's telling her. So Adriana is an athlete who exemplifies hard work, perseverance, and sportsmanship. But Coach Critic's torrent of negative feedback is relentless and taking its toll. At wit's end about what to do, her father contacts me for help. I guess this person got some expertise in the area. He tells me of his daughter's lack of enthusiasm in playing for such an overly critical coach. More and more, he says, she is focused on her weaknesses and gets easily frustrated in a match when she makes a mistake. I can tell by her body language when she is giving up on herself in the middle of a match, he says. Adriana is clearly suffering from a lack of confidence, and her coach's critical style is hurting her. Not helping. The best thing to turn things around is to help her to understand what is causing her self-doubt. If she doesn't, she may end up quitting. That's a big thing. Here are 3 main concerns I have about Adriana's situation. My advice for parents in addressing them and intervention strategies. Right. So that's what we're going to talk about. Strategies to help out in this situation about a very critical coach who is always on a player, talking about their flaws, their weaknesses, and that kind of thing.
So number 1 is critical leadership. It's good to critique players and athletes, but sometimes some leaders can be too critical. They just critical of everything. Nothing's ever good.
It needs to be a balance.
Exactly.
It needs to be a balance of criticizing them and talking about the things that they're good in, they're positive, their strengths and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So if you get a coach that's really critical, especially if you're a young player, you can things that you can do is talk to your parents. Maybe your parents need to come in and sit in practice and see what's really going on. Because you never know from an athlete's point of view. Some of them can be, just saying stuff and that kind of thing. So you as a parent, you want to see for yourself whether that coach is really too critical or
your
kid
child
just complaining.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just don't want to
put the work
hard.
in.
Right.
So it's up to you as a parent to make that judgment. But for you as an athlete, you got to know when you need to get help and talk to somebody else because your coach might be a little too critical on what you're trying to do.
Right.
And number 2, maybe criticism, because some coaches, their criticism can be kind of personal.
Right.
Especially in youth sports with a lot of the daddy ball stuff going on. They just be down and players, maybe their own players playing on the team, and it's just too much where kids aren't learning or it's just a distraction from other kids and learning. Right. So you could be too critical in what you're doing. So you can kind of seem like it's personal.
I think you can get on somebody about their crafts when they're talking about making it personal. You don't have to degrade them.
Exactly.
I think that's when it crosses the line into personal, when you're degrading that player, especially out in the open and that kind of thing. Because it's one thing to be hard on somebody, but to degrade them and really make them, I guess, insult them. Right. You're crossing the line with that. And I think a lot of parents wouldn't agree that they would want their child to be degraded.
Exactly.
Maybe pushed a little hard. You might yell at them sometimes, but degrading them, I think you're crossing the line. But go ahead on. What's concern number 3?
Because this could be like a crisis of their confidence,
Especially when they're young.
It could destroy their confidence. So you want to give a balance. You want to critique them. You want to definitely make sure you're teaching them and teaching them the right way. Right. But you also want to give them confident boosters. Right. Some congratulations. Yay. Like, get your game up like the Twins. You know how we do when we come out there. That's one important thing of why we like to show up at the games. Because the kids, their smile on their face when they see us, it makes them want to go hard. Because we there to encourage them. No matter what. No matter what your parents saying to you, your coach is doing to you. Twin Sports TV, we here to encourage. Because we know you have it in you. Sometimes kids, they do have a bad game. There might be a bad day. Coaches have bad games. They have bad days as well. Right. So what we're just trying to say, you got to have a balance with this thing. You got to show some kind of encouragement.
And I think that's where the parents could come in, especially if you
Right.
put your child on a team and they have a critical or overcritical coach, and you see that coach is all on them. That's why it's important for you to tune in to see what's going on. Then you can bring that positive aspect. If they're dwelling on the negative, you can start putting in the positive and start boosting them up about things that they are good at. So they can see both sides and not just see the negative or the weakness and the flaw. It's good that their flaws and their weakness are acknowledged and the coaches are addressing them. But then it's also too for kids to get, especially when they're really, really young, to get positive feedback. And get some love shown. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they're little. When they get older, like middle school, high school ball, you can treat them a little bit differently. But when they're really young, especially getting into the sport, maybe unfamiliar with the sport, just learning and that kind of thing. Or it might be a team where a lot of the kids are very skilled and talented, but it can be a couple of kids that just can't get it, but want to be on a team and they want to learn, but they're just not as skilled, or mentally they can't get it. And that's difficult when you have a very hard, critical coach. So we love those coaches who can balance it. Not everybody can do it. It takes special people that can balance that out. You know what I'm saying? And we salute to those coaches who can do that.
Exactly, because some of these critiques can have a long-lasting effect on these kids, and we want them to continue to play sports, not to be scared of it or mad about it and frustrated and that kind of thing. So we want to encourage everybody to do the right thing to help these kids move along. You know what I'm saying? But this is Twin Talk, and these are the signs of good youth sports coaches. And we know a lot of them. Twin Sports TV, we travel all over. And we know a lot of good coaches. And they have patience. That's one of the things that's very important for a good coach. So we're going to go into some signs of a good coach. Which is very critical. You know, a good coach can demonstrate, it could be he, she, his, her, whatever, a commitment to the health and safety. This is where I really fall in. The health and safety and the development of players. That's important. So if you're a good coach, you're into the development of that. You're into learning, definitely, especially in football. With all the concussions and a lot of kids get hurt. As a coach, you should want to take the extra time to learn about CPR, first aid, in case a player gets injured. You know, some leg injuries, arm injuries, concussions.
And I think mostly now they require the coaches to do that, which I think is a good thing.
Exactly.
You know, but I think they need to really just take it seriously, because a lot of times, kids will be hurt out there, and coaches are so quick to just get them up off the field or whatever and not take it seriously. But I think coaches take those first aid classes, injury prevention, and take it seriously and protect our babies out there.
And coaches that teaches, their model and they demand respectful behavior from their players.
Fairness,
everything.
Good sportsmanship. Those coaches who can combine all of that and put that in there.
They model it for themselves.
Right.
So they can show these little ones what it's like.
They can be tough and rough on that field, but then they also could be respectful. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
And you know what? A good coach, too, insists on proper behavior from the sideline. You know who's on the sideline. Those are those parents. Parents, we know y'all love those babies. But y'all can't be out on the field yelling and fussing and cussing at these little babies while the coaches is trying to coach. Those are good coaches who can keep those parents in control too. And you don't have to be disrespectful with the parents, because like I said, they love those babies.
They do.
They
love their kids.
They do. We do. We love them too.
Yes.
But it's a way to keep the parents and the fans at bay. You know what I'm saying? So you can do what you do on the field and at practice.
And I think if you have good communication with the parents, you won't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
You can especially if the tone is set up front. What your expectation is as a coach from the parents, from your athletes, and that kind of thing. And you lead by example. And I think if you do that well, everybody wins, and you won't have to worry about a lot of rowdiness and that kind of thing, confrontations.
And a good coach can set realistic expectations, and appropriate expectations for their team or the athlete that they're coaching, because everybody's not a superstar. Every team is not going to go undefeated. Every team is not going to win the championship this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you can set realistic expectations for your team, I think the athletes, especially the little ones, they can kind of measure up to that. They can kind of set goals.
Right.
And they can, achieve little by little by little. depending on what kind of athlete.
And that goes for the individual athlete within the team. You got to have the proper expectation. Exactly. Like you're saying, not everybody's the baller, the stud, the rough, the tough. There's some that are learning, and some that are inquisitive. Right. It might be their second sport. So, exactly. They're just maybe trying it out and that kind of thing. You just have to be patient. Have patience with that. Yeah, and that's a good quality too for a coach. Realistic expectation of the team that you have. Right. Everybody wants that number one team. But everybody is not going to be able to get it. So you have to be realistic. And, And also realize that they're just kids. I like coaches who realize that they're just kids and want to incorporate them having fun as well. I mean, everybody wants to be on a winning team, but if you're not on a winning team, that doesn't mean you can't have fun on the team. Exactly. And you're not learning. And that's why I love team moms, too. They're so important. Because in the mix of all of that, whether you're up and down, you're winning or losing, the team mom usually comes in with that fun. Let's keep it fun for the kids. Let's congratulate the kids. Exactly. Let's keep it going. Let's get those banners going. Get those cheerleaders. Yes. Still need to cheer for the guys so they can be motivated. Right. To keep going and do what they do. Because you never know. You never give up. Yep. And another sign of a good coach is somebody who understands like gender. Versus if you're like basketball, if you're coaching girls basketball versus you coaching boys basketball, you got to understand, females might be a little different than guys. Yeah, you might have to talk to them a different way. Exactly. Can't be as handle those situations differently. Can't be rough with them little girls and the ladies. They're just so sweet. Exactly. Yeah. So make sure that's kind of a sign of a good coach who can kind of distinguish the two and still adjust their plan to that. And a coach that's patient, calm, and doesn't blow their cool. Right. We love those coaches. We love those cool ones. Yeah, we had my nephew, her son, when he was 5 years old, he had a great coach. Coach Jay out of California. We see you. There were 5 and 6 year old, but it was only 2 coaches on the team. Right. At a whole football team. Yep. It was 30-something players. But this coach had swag. He was just cool, calm. I mean, he never really raised his voice, yelling, fuss, not shoving kids around, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I think, the way he carried himself, them little ballers, 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds respected this coach. Right. When he said... Not just him, but the parents as well. Exactly. He didn't have any problems. Yeah, he didn't have it. But it was just the way he carried himself. Right. And he wasn't mean or nothing like that. Wasn't nasty. He encouraged them. He was firm. He told them what he expected. Yep. And they just lived up to it. They did it. So, and it wasn't, it's a lot different. And one other thing, too, I think is something positive with a good youth coach who can break the terminology down for young players. Oh, yeah, that's so important. We hear a lot of coaches sometimes, they're out there with 5 and 6 year olds and they're talking language that's for high school kids. Right. And it's wonderful when you can see coaches that actually break it down on their level or sometimes use more visuals. To communicate what they're trying to say. Yeah, we've seen that. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. I mean, you need somebody to really show you versus just yelling at you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So we just saying those coaches who can really break the terminology down, use visuals and show. And we saw that this weekend with coaches on the team that was actually showing their players. He was on defense, how to fly off at the ball and do that kind of, not just say fly off at the ball, fire off, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was actually showing them, and it makes a difference. It paints that picture in their head. It's like a permanent imprint in their head for young kids. It's the same thing that you do in the classroom. You translate that on the field. You got to be more visual for those little kids in the classroom just to learn their basics and their fundamentals. And that's why we like to come out and video your games. Yep. Because this is a great tool to show your kids what they're doing. Right. Especially those game teasers we do. Exactly. All your plays are there in one highlight and you can show your kid like what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right. What they need to change, if they need to make a correction. Yep. That's what these videos and highlights is wonderful. Yep. Not only for recruiting purposes for the older kids, but for the younger kids as a teaching tool. Yep. And it's a great one, especially. And they love to see themselves. So they would just want to watch it over and over and over. And then you can just explain things to them. And just make sure you smash that like button on TwinSportsTV YouTube channel and subscribe to all the videos. Yep. So that's what I'm saying. And kids,
hey, it's a great
and not only
tool.
watching your video, you can watch other people's video. Just like high school varsity. I mean, high school kids got to watch film on their team. They got to watch film on other teams. It's a great way to start that good habit early of them watching themselves, and they can go on our YouTube channel and watch other kids.
Exactly.
See what they're doing and how they're successful, that they can maybe improve on themselves.
So when they go to those all-star games or those bowl games, and they playing against other kids in different cities
that they're not familiar with,
they can match up. Because there's a lot of them coming. Twin Sports TV, and we definitely going to be there.
Traveling.
So make sure y'all follow us and stay tuned. We're going to start listing all the events and stuff we got coming up. 2021 is going to be lit. Actually, 2020. It's good for us.
Yes.
We've been doing our thing. And we got a bunch of tournaments that's getting ready to come up. Hey, Thanksgiving weekend, we about to get it in. So make sure y'all stay tuned so we'll let you know where we're going to be at Thanksgiving. Then we might be in Vegas the first of the year for the New Year's. We're just going all over. So make sure y'all stay tuned. Follow us. Because we getting it in. So we're giving y'all good signs of good coaches for youth sports. So definitely make sure y'all tune in. Stay with us.
Hit us up.
Hit us up.
Hit that like button.
Smash it. Go check out our other videos.